In this week's show, we go inside South Africa's booming private security industry.
The security industry is bigger than what it's ever been in South Africa.
But the government claims it's an industry that threatens national security.
A very dangerous situation arises if you have a security industry that outstrips both your police and your army, and there is completely no regulation of that industry.
So why is private security such big business here, and just what do these companies do? A Thursday night in Johannesburg. A private security company, CSS Tactical, is patrolling the suburbs. The walls are high in the city, dogs at gates, burglar alarms, all physical signs of fear. And companies like CSS, which has 850 security guards, are employed by local residents as a deterrent.
To be proactive, we need to be noticed. We need people to say, hold on, there's a dedicated tactical vehicle. Tactical vehicle, it's a bigger vehicle, it's more aggressive. It's a deterrent. So the first point is we want to deter crime as opposed to catch crime.
If they have to fire, the security officers are well armed. They carry semi-automatic weapons and handguns. And they trained how and when to use them.
The most serious case I've probably been involved in was about 14 against 2. And the only reason we won that battle was because we were trained.
How come I've never seen you here before?
Only the police have the power of random stop and search in public places. But security companies also stop people they regard as suspicious.
Cancel, we're going to take that call.
A call comes through from the nearby control centre. An alarm is going off at a nearby residence.
We were dispatched for an alarm. We arrived at the premises, made contact with the client to make sure everything's fine. She said to us that she's just moved into the premises and she's not sure exactly how the alarm works. So eventually we got here in time, everything's safe. We're happy.
But it's not always a false alarm. Coming home one night 2 years ago, Jan Botha, who runs a CCTV company, didn't realise he was being followed. As he moves the cars on his driveway, 2 men appeared.
Something triggered me just to look to my left. I look at my left and next moment I saw somebody and a person running with me with a gun in his hand. All I could hear is a shot go through my legs and my legs just fell and I fell down on the ground. The next moment I saw them pushing open the gate, took my car and they left. The community was calling on the police for reaction to help. There was just no response back from them. There was no communication from the police, and the police were in the process of changing shifts, so there was no vehicle or anybody available for any response.
But that wasn't the end of the ordeal. Botha says that while he was in hospital, a female police brigadier visited him and recommended a private investigator should take over his case. A week later, the investigator came to his house demanding money.
Is this a money scheme? I don't know. Is it something that the police and the private investigators are working together? Say, yeah, we're going to get this guy and you're going to charge you, and maybe they share the money. I don't know.
In response to these allegations, the South African police told CNN the brigadier's conduct was investigated and she was found guilty and sanctioned in a police departmental trial. But she appealed and is still working for the South African Police Service.
In the light of what happened to me, I feel very negative about the police. I cannot trust them. I cannot rely on them. So this is the last people I'll go to for any assistance. If I have to, I'd rather go to a private security company.
The police say they investigated the crime, but the perpetrators were never caught. The case has now been closed. Rudolf Zinn is with South Africa's Institute for Security Studies.
We only have the official crime statistics to go by. If you look at what the police would report annually in September of every year, we see over the last 3 or 4 years that crime is leveled off. The more concerning factor is the high percentage of so-called violent or contact crime, which is about 1/3 of all the crime reported to the South African Police Service.
And that's what's fueled the growth of the private security industry. There are nearly 9,000 companies and 400,000 registered active private security guards. That's more than the police and army combined, according to the South African police minister.
I think the growth in the industry is definitely attributed to the fact that let's call it then weak policing or ineffective policing, and it created this opportunity for private individuals to move into the market.
Like Val de Waal, the chief operating officer of the South African-owned Protea Coin Group. He spent 18 years in the special forces and military intelligence before joining the private security sector 10 years ago.
We're going to do a routine patrol. We're going to stay in communication with our national control room. Once there's an incident, we'll be in the air, and that will shorten our reaction time.
This multi-million-dollar company employs 17,000 people. Part of its work is dealing with small-scale crime, like recovering fuel stolen from a petrol station. Protea Coin also provides security at many of South Africa's mines and has been kept busy by the recent strikes. But what happens when private security companies take matters into their own hands?
I think the public can find themselves in situations where basically they are put at the mercy of private security companies who are unprofessional.
The role of private security companies are distinctively different to that of the police. We view our role as private security to really aid and support the police.
The South African government says it's determined to tighten regulation of the security industry, thought to be the largest